Good morning, Australia, and welcome to Wake Up. A big couple of hours ahead, all the biggest stories of the day, including a woman who's teaching DJs to baby. Oh, no, she's teaching babies to DJ. That's an interesting story. We'll try and investigate that. Also, this morning on the show, we're going to chat to Charlotte from Geordie Shore. She's a special, special woman, and all your big headlines. Australia, it's time to wake up.
Qantas crisis. It's D-Day for the Flying Kangaroo. The airline CEO expected to announce thousands of job cuts and millions of dollars in losses. We have comprehensive coverage.
Also this morning, an actor restrained. Lara Bingle's man Sam Worthington ordered not to go near the paparazzo he allegedly attacked in New York. Our reporter was in court. We've got all the details live.
Plus, our week-long childcare campaign continues. We look at the important role grandparents play and how the system can better support them.
And Kylie's surprise. The pop princess delights fans with an impromptu show at a Sydney pub. We spoke to her exclusively. That and plenty more this Thursday, the 27th of February, 2014.
From coast to coast, this is Wake Up on 10. Now, from our Manly Beach HQ, Natasha Belling and James Matheson.
Yes, how cool was that? Our very own Kylie, little impromptu performance at the Beresford Hotel in Sydney. How cool is that?
Very cool. An intimate venue on the eve of Mardi Gras. So pretty exciting for the fans who got into there.
Absolutely. And our very own Ange Bishop had the chance to catch up with Kylie. Take a look.
How do you want to do it? Just to say hey and happy Mardi Gras. Did you love the response? Oh my God, it was incredible. They made so much noise. It was crazy.
Apparently only one song. Kylie kind of belted out, Into the Blue. Her, new song. Very good. Yes. Liked a bit of locomotion.
Yeah, that wouldn't have killed her, would it? Hey, something for the fans.
Exactly. Time now to check out the latest news with Nuala. Good morning, Nuala.
Good morning, guys. This is my Kylie tribute colour today, Into the Blue. I love you, Kylie. This is my testament to you today. Good morning, everyone. Well, as Tash and James were saying, it is D-Day for Qantas today, with as many as 5,000 staff set to find out whether they'll lose their jobs. Back office staff are expected to bear the brunt of the slashings as boss Alan Joyce reveals a mammoth restructuring plan this morning. The national carrier is expected to announce a loss of more than $300 million, as well as the early retirement of planes and terminal sales. It's all to convince the markets and the Abbott government that the Flying Kangaroo has its house in order and can stem its huge losses. Earlier this week, the government provided Qantas with a debt guarantee, meaning the Aussie taxpayer will foot the bill should the airline default. Sam Worthington has fronted a New York court over the incident with a paparazzo earlier this week. The proceeding was over in just a few minutes, with the court hearing the Avatar actor told police he was just protecting his girl. Worthington was slapped with a 6-month protection order, stopping him from going near or contacting the photographer. If convicted, he faces a maximum of 1 year in jail. 2 Muslim extremists convicted of murdering British soldier Lee Rigby have been dragged from a London court screaming after being sentenced. Zoe Ford has more from London.
As soon as the news that Michael Adebolajo had been sentenced to life in prison and Michael Adebowale given a minimum of 45 years reached the protesters out here, there were loud cheers and chanting, and they are still very vocal outside the Old Bailey now. Inside, Lee Rigby's family have been crying through this afternoon's sentence, understandably. Rigby was just walking across the street when the pair ran him down in their car, then hacked him to death with a meat cleaver and knives. Back in December, it took a jury just 90 minutes to find the pair guilty. This was a crime that didn't just shock Britain, it shocked the entire world. And when we saw those CCTV pictures and the mobile phone camera vision, it was truly sickening. Mrs. Rigby said in her victim impact statement today that her greatest fear is that her young son will grow up seeing images of her father that no son should ever have to endure.
Zoe Ford there in London. A report into the recent riots at Manus Island has found that the asylum seeker who died may have been beaten to death with a piece of timber. 23-year-old Reza Barati was killed and 62 others were injured during the protest on February 17. A post-mortem exam has found the Iranian man is likely to have died from multiple blows to the head. A preliminary investigation has also found the death occurred after guards from a security contractor entered the centre and tried to suppress the protest. World swimming champ James Magnussen has thrown his support behind Grant Hackett after he fled to the US seeking urgent rehab treatment. Hackett's believed to be addicted to the controversial sleeping pill Stilnox, but the former Olympian maintains the trip is for rest and relaxation, not rehab.
It's really sad to see, but hopefully he bounces back quickly.
Magnussen himself has had trouble with Stilnox when he and his teammates used the drug before the London Games. Heading overseas, and volunteers in Ukraine have begun manning checkpoints into Kiev to stop any troublemakers or weapons being brought into the capital. Checkpoints have been narrowed and volunteers are working alongside police to search cars and check paperwork. But they're also keeping an eye on the police force, which is notorious for corruption. Meantime, brawls erupted between rival factions over threats of separatism in the pro-Russian Crimean Peninsula, where the ousted president was last seen. And at least 175 people have been killed during an attack near Damascus in Syria. It's believed Bashar al-Assad loyalists ambushed the insurgent-held eastern Ghouta, killing the group of Islamist rebel fighters. The same area was targeted in a chemical attack last August, which killed hundreds of people. Residents in Beijing have been forced to flee the city after it was blanketed in smog for a 7th day. Yesterday, the government raised its alert system to the second highest warning, with residents needing to wear masks outdoors, while schools have had to cancel outdoor activities. Air quality levels in the capital were considered off the scale by the US Embassy. We'll find out later this morning if Shane Watson will be right to play in the third test against South Africa when he undergoes a fitness test. The Aussies are now in Cape Town ahead of Saturday's decider, with Watson desperate to play. But he's not guaranteed the number 3 spot, even if he's selected. If Watson does play, either Alex Doolan or Sean Marsh will miss out. The Sydney Roosters admit it'll be tough to win back-to-back premierships. The NRL officially launched the season, believing it will be one of the best ever. The reigning premiers are aiming to become the first team since the Brisbane Broncos over 20 years ago to defend their title. The Roosters kick off the season against South Sydney. Now let's kick off the weather with a look at today's forecast. Light morning showers ahead for Greater Melbourne today. Yarra 22, Watsonia 21, 17 in Mount Dandenong and 21 for Geelong. Melbourne can expect a light morning shower or two. Top of 22 degrees, sunny and 24 degrees in Bendigo. Hobart 19 and partly cloudy, mostly sunny in Launceston 22. 31 with a mostly sunny day in Brisbane, Adelaide 26. And just as we were talking about earlier, Australia's pop princess has surprised fans in Sydney last night with an impromptu concert. Kylie Minogue let fans know via Twitter that she'd be at an inner city pub and performed just one song for the 300-strong crowd, which got them spinning around. The gay icon hit the tiny stage with Into the Blue. Minogue brought a fan on stage for a selfie before wishing the crowd a happy Mardi Gras. He looks a bit happy.
I think that's the best day of his life.
Yeah, I know. That selfie's going global. You know how I love panda stories? There's only one thing that tops a panda story, and that's a Kylie story. I love Kylie more than pandas. That's saying a lot.
Wow. That's a pretty big bombshell.
Yeah, people adore her. I mean, anyone who got into that room last night, I think, would be dining on that for a long, long time.
Very jealous indeed.
Thank you, Norla. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Let's take a quick look now at what's making news on the front pages of this morning's newspapers. And we begin with the Daily Telegraph, which previews today's big Qantas announcement. The newspaper reports the airline will fast-track 28 of its ageing 767s and 747 jets into early retirement. The Daily Telly also has a big pic of our Kylie on their front page after her surprise performance at the Surrey Hills pub in Sydney last night.
To the Herald Sun, which now says briefs of evidence are now being prepared by ASADA against top AFL and NRL players after the Anti-Doping Authority wrapped up its major investigation. Brisbane's Courier Mail now, which has details of how the man accused of Daniel Morecambe's death was caught by police.
The Great Wall of Fire is the headline on the front page of The Age. A dramatic picture of that blaze threatening the Victorian town of Morwell worsens. The Australian Now, which says the coalition will aim to almost double the nation's defence budget when a long-awaited white paper is handed down next month.
The West Australian has the untold story of the day James Payet went on a knife rampage, murdering his wife, Angela Ferrulo. And Adelaide's Advertiser says local council rates will be capped if the Liberal Party wins the upcoming state election.
And finally this morning, the NT News pays tribute to Daryl Menderson, who was crushed to death in a workplace accident at Rio Tinto's Gove Aluminium refinery. Now let's see what's trending online this morning, and Alison Stevenson joins us from news.com.au. Good morning, Ali. What are people looking at today?
Good morning, guys. Well, look, it seems you can outsource anything these days, including getting an app to text your girlfriend for you. Now, 2 Brisbane-based developers have created what they're calling the Bro app, which automatically sends sweet messages like, "Hi, babe, how was your day?" and "See you tonight, doll, can't wait." The boys said they got the idea because they noticed that their girlfriends got really annoyed when they didn't text them. So the app comes with 12 different text messages. You sort of just put your girlfriend's number in, you set the time of day you want to send the message, and you're good to go. And it also knows when you're at your girlfriend's house so that you don't text her while you're there. It picks up on the Wi-Fi network. So that could be a little bit awkward if that happens.
Absolutely. It reminds me of that Invisible Girlfriend app, which is very popular at the moment.
What, with friends that you know?
Well, people that I know. I've heard of it. I'm into technology and things like that. Ali, thank you for that. Good to see what's trending.
Thanks, guys.
Well, still to come this morning on Wake Up, the judge who knows he can dance gives his honest verdict on the talent down under. And the wild child of Geordie Shore has finally made it out of the celebrity Big Brother house and onto our couch. Charlotte Crosby is coming up very soon.
And babies dropping beats. The woman running DJ classes for toddlers. That's when Wake Up returns in just a sec.
Thanks to Inner Health Plus.
Have you had your Inner Health Plus today?
Wake Up. We'll be back in a tick.
Thanks for your company this morning on Wake Up. A cracking morning here from Surf City in Manly. Hopefully it is where you are as we go all around the country this morning.
How beautiful is that shot as the sun rises?
Yeah, it's pretty radical to work here.
Gorgeous. Here at Wake Up, we say age is no barrier to success, and here is proof. Babies as young as 3 months learning how to DJ before they even know how to talk.
I love this story. Natalie Elizabeth Weiss runs the Baby DJ School in Brooklyn, where she teaches kids up to 3 years old how to DJ. We spoke to Natalie in New York. Hi, Natalie. Thanks for joining us this morning. Now, tell us, how did this idea start?
Well, I was babysitting a little boy named Ryder, who was 1.5 at the time. And when I was there, I had a gig right afterwards. So I had my DJ equipment with me, and I brought it out, and he took to it immediately. He really loved being able to control the music. And when I saw how empowered he was musically, I thought, we should bring this to other children. And I was familiar with other music programs that they had for very young kids, and I thought we could do something more interactive, so I started Baby DJ School.
So what's been the reaction so far to this?
The parents go crazy for it because they're sick of hearing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and Baa Baa Black Sheep and ABC. Those all have the same melody, you know, so I wrote some original songs about the history of techno music and the elements of disco, and songs that teach kids about what pieces of DJ equipment are called. So they're fun songs you can sing along to, and instead of playing with a ukulele, the kids themselves get to mix in the tracks.
Now, we looked at some of the equipment that was being used in some of that vision we're looking at the moment. What are the sort of things that you use within the class?
Well, in the class, I use a laptop with a software called Tractor Pro, which is used by professional DJs all over. I also use something called an SP404, which I brought here today. This is it. It's called an SP404.
Right.
And I sing a song to the children to teach them what it is. And I say, put your favorite sounds here inside of me. SP404. And then I fill it up with sounds that they already know, like a kitty cat. And we have, hey, honey. That's supposed to be their mom coming home. Hey, honey. But we also have sounds that are used with actual parties, like when I DJ. Let's get the party started, you know, warm it up. Or we do, yo, DJ, pump this party. You know?
Love it.
Get the dancing going on. And then we teach them some about effects. For example, I'm gonna press the button that puts a filter on this song. And we say, filter on.
Filter on.
Filter off. So it's simple, and the kids love pushing the shiny buttons, that's for sure.
Natalie, there's a lot of research around about the educational benefits of this type of music with babies listening to music. Have you also found this with your students, these little babies?
Right. Well, one of the most popular studies is the Mozart effect, and it looks at how children that listen to Mozart when they're infants and toddlers, it helps their spatial reasoning. I had a fellowship as a composer with the Brooklyn Philharmonic, and I know how they will pass melodies from the brass to the strings, and those spatial relationships with the instruments help the baby's brain do puzzles or synthesize ideas of shapes in space. And with what's happening when you're DJing, you're hearing panning in the music. When you have two headphones on and you take one off and you're listening to two tracks at a time, the spatial relationships that are happening with the two songs and mixing them in and out, it's outstanding. It's very good for creating new pathways in the brain, as well as helping fine motor skills and gross motor skills and helping them learn to take turns with the other kids.
And most importantly, you get to see kids dance as well. The reaction
Oh my gosh, they love it.
They must just go nuts.
Yeah, they do. They bounce. Their parents love it. Their parents, it's like a non-stop dance party.
Oh, we all know about the benefits of music. That is absolutely fantastic, Natalie. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you
we
so
really
much.
appreciate it.
Yeah, the very effervescent Natalie Elizabeth Weiss, who we spoke to earlier in the week, with something that I'd love to get my kids involved in.
Absolutely cool. Next on Wake Up, how you can help the case of Australian journalist Peter Greste, who's on trial in Egypt. Plus, we continue our spotlight on the childcare crisis. So many families are struggling to afford daycare, but is it fair to enlist the help of grandparents?
Also coming up, the latest on Qantas. Will changes to our national carrier carry thousands of jobs offshore? We'll find out.